Well, hi everyone. Thanks for joining me. It's so nice to have you here. And here's the last video of my three-part series on the MX-1 mixer and the actual effects in the mixer itself. We're going into detail. This video is covering the master effects, which is probably the longest or the largest section of the video. Let's just get an analog synth sound. And this time we're going to have a look at all the different master effects. So there's 6 of them here. There's delay, filter, scatter, flanger, bit crush, and roll. And each one of these actually has variants in each one of those. So let's get stuck into it. Let's first start with the delay. What we're going to do first is we're going to get all the effects back to their first factory setting. So delay, which has the delay one, and let's just hear it clean. So this is just no effects at all. That's just a pure analog synth going through my USB. It's actually a Roland Boutique SEO2, if you're wondering. You can hear the... Right, now let's turn the delay on. Now let's get a beat going. This clock is going at 60 BPM. Right, and you can hear Alright, so you can hear that. Now let's speed up the clock. Okay, that's 120 now. And I'm controlling this by changing the clock speed on my MPC Live, so I've actually got the clock synced. So that's the cool thing about the delay, is synced to the beat, and you can change the sync here, and you can change it to MIDI, which is what I've got, or you can change it to internal. You can make this the master clock, but this video is not about that, so that's just to show you anyway. Right, let's listen to the second delay effect. Hold down delay and use the tempo knob to change it, and hit delay again to activate it. Now this knob here will set the mix wet to dry. And that all the way to the right will cause the delay to self-feedback. And you can go backwards. So this one here, I usually like to set it about halfway between off and high. It's quite nice. My favorite one is delay 2, if you haven't worked that out. Alright, so let's have a look at delay 3. It's kind of like a stereo delay effect. Let's go all the way high. Alright, let's look at delay 4. So delay 4 is a stereo pan delay. Okay. Let's look at delay 5. Delay 5 is a spiral delay. Crazy to affect that one. Let's look at delay 6. Delay 6 is a room delay, so it's probably a reverb. It's almost chorusy, that last one. Delay 7 is a hall, so I'd say it's reverb again. that's like a slight pre-delay on that, and that's instantaneous on that side. So you can get a pre-delay and instantaneous. And last, I think it's last, delay 8 is a reverb modulated. Pretty crazy. One thing to note too, on time, I forgot to mention this, you've got different times that you can set for your effects. So hold down the time and toggle those around. So let's hold down the time there and we can do kind of beat divisions there. So note that you can do that. Okay, now the next effects we're going to do the filter effects, and we've got 8 of these. Starting off with the first one, filter 1, which is a 6 dB filter. So left is low pass, right is high pass, and it's handy because it says low high here as well. Let's try the 12 dB filter. It's quite a nice filter, that one actually. Let's try the cross 24 dB, which is filter 3. Wow, it's very resonant up there. Very nice. Let's try filter 4, which is an isolated high-low. So that's pretty much like a tone control. Let's try filter 5, which is just an isolated low. That's nothing much there. Filter 6 is an isolated high mid. Then we've got some weird ones. Filter 7 is called an oscillator. Let's listen. Whoa, I don't even want to go there. That's going to blow our ears. Sorry about that. So you guys can play with that one on your own. Filter 8 is just noise, so we won't even worry about that either. That's handy to have, I guess, in some cases. Okay, let's have a look at scatter. Scatter. Now we've got to get some beats going, which we have. We've got get some really glitchy type stuff going here. Let's get our try scatter 2. Scatter 3. 6. Okay, scale to 7. Okay, that's our scatter effects, and let's try the flanger now. So we've got 2 flangers and a manual flanger. Let's start with the first flanger. Make sure it's on flanger 1. There's your flanger. Let's try it on. Okay, let's try flanger 2. And this flanger, last one, is the manual flanger. Just a little bit more crazy, that one. Then it gives you, you've got your 3 flangers. Now it gives you a flanger 4 is actually a phaser. So let's try the phaser. Now we can't do it with this other thing, so we'll do it with it. There's your phaser. It's pretty basic. There's another phaser. Okay, so on this channel, I've got a small stone phaser running. Let's turn it off, and let's turn this phaser on. It's okay, let's go back to our small stone. There you go. So that's your phasers. I think there's one more. Phaser is a manual phaser. Let's try that one. Okay, let's try. It sounds a bit digital to me. I mean, that analog phaser sounds 10 times better. But anyway, we're not going to argue. It's there. Okay, the last 2 flanges are ring mods. So that's the first one, and the second one. Now, one thing to notice is that would be so cool if we could have that ring mod then go through a delay or go through a reverb. But let's just grab our auxiliary port on here. And now I've got a Strymon Big Sky running. Now you can hear so the power of combining your effects auxiliary sends with your master effects means that you can actually have an effects chain coming off at the top of this mixer back in again, and you can actually set your master effects to come in pre-auxiliary send. I think there's a setting where you can change that, but anyway, we'll talk about that in another video. All right, let's try the Bit Crusher. Bit Crusher. Right, now, let's try the first one. The first two Bit Crusher effects are just Bit Crushers. Very Roland Bit Crushy sounding. Let's try the second one. I mean, you can get some real nice... just floating around in my ears. Go Strymon. Alright, now, Bit Crusher Effect 3 and 4. These are distortion effects. Okay, so if you're wondering, oh, does this mixer have a distortion? Yes, it does. So it's kind of like a Tony type distortion. That's more of a distortion. Yeah, that one down the low end. Crazy. Alright. Bit Crusher 5 and 6, let's do 5 first, is a stretcher. That's crazy. Bit Crusher 6 is a stretcher again. Okay, Bit Crusher 7 and 8 is Pitch Shifter. Let's turn it on for a start. Crazy stuff. Okay, let's try the second pitch shifter, which is the last pitch Bit Crusher effect. Oh, some madness in there. Alright, the last one is our roll effect. Now, let's do roll with the drums. And let's get roll on 1. Now, with roll, we've got 3 roll effects and then 5 tape stop effects. So let's start with the first roll effect. Okay, second roll effect. And now let's try the tape stop effects. Actually, sorry, that is a and that is a roll effect too. I do apologise. This one is a tape stop effect. And this one. And this one. And this one is the last one, which is a really long tape stop. Let's add that to our aux. Last is the Combi effect. The Combi effect is, so let's see. Now there's 1, 2, 3, wow, there's 20 Combi effects, okay? There's a bit more that we can delve into. We can go into a lot more detail on how to program Combi effects, clear them, look at all the different nuances with time. But the last bit I want to talk about is auxiliary effects. And on the back of the mixer here, you've got a full send and return channel stereo, so left and right. So I showed it before, but let's just get this, no effects, and let's just get this cranked up so we can hear it. That's a Strymon Big Sky that you can hear. So this channel is affecting and you can hear, you can have the channel fully wet or fully dry. And just a matter of playing around with your sends and returns. They actually have their own fader knobs here. And then you've actually got your aux value here, so how much you're going to allow the auxiliary channel to. And you can just hear it popping in now. So it's very, very fine details of control there. What's really cool is that you can actually get your effects happening, and your effects will actually happen before the auxiliary send. So it's very, very handy to play with auxiliary effects, and you can set up your own effects change with guitar pedals or even just an effects rack unit. Or even if you wanted to, you can actually pull your effects through your DAW and pipe them back into your return. Something very, very cool. Anyway, guys, that is it for the MX-1's effects. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover based on this stuff. Otherwise, I'll catch you later. See ya.